I'm Pastor George Borkart, and this is another Higher Things video short. The God who would have you call him Daddy. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. Hey, if you love our videos, if you're learning about your faith from places you never expected, from a Lutheran pastor and his dog, you ready, buddy? Go ahead and like and subscribe today. You can also go to support.higherthings.org and give today. Your tax-deductible gift keeps Higher Things, an organization which is all about passing the faith to the next generation, keeps us going. There you go, buddy. Right on his coconut. Okay, so Galatians 4, 6, and 7. Here we are in Bible Study Thursday. 7 and 8, excuse me. So that you are no longer, 6 and 7. Because you are sons, God has apostled out, he has sent out the Spirit of his Son into our hearts so that we would cry out, Abba, Father. Thus, you are no longer slaves, but sons, and if sons, then an heir also through God. So, think about this. The God who made everything. Get in your bed, buddy. The God who made everything. The God who created the heavens and the earth. The God through whom all things were made and apart from whom nothing was made that is made. The God that formed you, the God that made you, the God the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that God would have you call him Dad. He would have you be personal with him in a way that you could never, ever earn nor deserve. Abba, Hebrew word ab, young kids, when they would repeat that, it would become Abva, Daddy, Dada, Dad. I think probably Daddy works, or Dad. That's what he would have you call him. And this is not for you to prescribe something on you that all of a sudden you can't call him Dad and Father anymore. This is to tell you the closeness that he would have with you. You are not separated from God. You are not far from God. You are not aliens anymore or slaves to sin and death and the power of the devil. You are a child of God, an heir of heaven. Everything that God says of his Son, he says of you in the suffering and death of Jesus. And so now he would bid you call him Dad. And this is a relationship that you could never, ever, ever, ever do. Thor is thirsty, and he is whopping his water bowl trying to get my attention. I'll tell you, these are the days of our lives together with the crazy dog. Anyway, so this God, the one who holds all things together because of his Son's sacrifice, because you believe in his Son's sacrifice, because you've received his Son's sacrifice by faith, would have you call him Dad or Father or close. And you didn't earn it. You didn't deserve it. Come here, boy. It wasn't something that you, because you decided, because you changed, because you gave up this sin or that. Before you were born, God sent his Son to die for you. You didn't go off to the parent store and pick your own parents out. I'd like that, Mom, and I'd like that, Dad. That's foolish. Nor did you go to the God store and pick God out. I'd like a dad that's cuddly and wonderful. Well, no, I'm sorry. You got Israel's God who sent his Son to die for you. That God, the only God there is, he's this close to you. He's your Father. And if you have a dad that fails you, this one won't. And if you have a dad that's great, multiply that by 1,000,000, and that's how your God is. He hears your prayers. He answers them. He waits at the edge of his throne to give to you good gifts. And if you are a dad with children, as much as you'd like to give your children gifts, God is exponentially more. He wants to love you He wants to care for you, and he wants you to be his child. And he won that salvation by his son's death, and he delivered that salvation to you in his son. Abba, Father. And if a son, then an heir. And not a second-class son or a second-class child or a daughter in the ancient world. And this isn't sexist. The closest relationship you can have with a parent, to be the most important kid. If you ever felt not that important, well, you're that important to him. He sent his only begotten son so that he would have you. This is the God who saves. This is the God who loves you in the giving up of his son. And this is the God who will shut heaven down if he doesn't have you. Because of Jesus. Because of the cross. Because of Calvary. Received by faith in water, word, bread, and wine. Believe this. Trust it. When far, when near, when close, when happy, when sad, God is my Father. I got the biggest God, I got the biggest dad on the playground. My dad will always be your dad. My dad saves me. I'm Pastor George Borchardt, Bible Study Thursday, and this has been another Higher Things video short.